Listen to this mind-blowing stat. In 2023, according to datacommon.org, Canada's total fertility rate, which is just babies being born per woman, hit a record low of 1.26 children per woman, the lowest since 1921. Some of you might be wondering what happened in 1921. Well, just a war that killed millions of men over Europe, and then immediately following the Spanish flu that killed 50 million people, making our 2020 flu look like a cakewalk. 1.26 children per woman. That means that every family has at least one child. Some say, well, people are still having kids. Well,
Canada's fertility rate is now the lowest it's ever been, and here's why. The fertility rate last year was 1.26 children per woman, placing Canada in the group of the lowest low fertility countries in the world alongside South Korea, Spain, Italy, and Japan. I'm Emily Williams in Edmonton, where I asked, why aren't people having kids anymore? Turns out it's complicated. According to Stats Canada, in 2023, there were 1.26 children born in Canada per woman. It places Canada among the lowest low countries for birth rates. Alyssa Gogan is 20 years old with a 3-year-old son. While her first child wasn't planned, she's on the fence about having a second. It was hard financially. Formula is expensive, really expensive. I was spending almost $60 a week on formula.
So, we thought of an interesting question to ask ChatGPT. If the birth rate continues at the same rate, at what year will Canada just vanish?
and the year it gave us was 2054. According to the brilliant mathematician Dr. ChatGPT, if the trends of current birth rates are going where it's headed, in just under 30 years, Canada will be the first country to have no more native born.
What is that about?
Now, Canada will actually never hit a population of 0 because that's not possible. We have a mass immigration flooding in to help us with that problem, so no worries there. But we do want to address the very real issue of why local Canadians have dropped the idea of having a family.
And if this keeps up, Canadians will be a small minority group in their own country.
So, how do we become a nation which was described as heaven on earth? A nation filled with young families, prosperous nation where nature was a part of every kid's memory, to a country that has become so undesirable that even local Canadians feel like we don't even want to raise kids here.
What is going on here in Canada? Let's put it this way. Somewhere along the way, families stopped being the center of life. We traded in kids for careers, for travel, for experiences. Was it worth it?
People just don't want kids.
And why would we? Kids cost about an extra $15,000 on top of your other expenses per year. We barely have enough to save for home. So how can we afford more kids? And let me get into it a little bit. Way back in the day, kids on a farm were seen as an asset. They helped grow the farm. And now kids are seen more of a liability. They're expensive, they're inconvenient, and they're limiting our freedom.
Okay, so let's go over the evolution over the generations. Okay, so from the 60s and 70s, only 6% of people said they didn't want kids. Okay, the 90s, that doubled. Today, 33% do not want children. That's 1 in every 3 people.
All right, so to prove this theory, we took 10 of our closest and oldest friends and we list them out and we circled the ones that do not plan to have kids. And 4 out of 10 was correct. They do not want kids.
It's real. So take a minute, pause this video, think of your 5 closest friends, 10 closest friends. If 2 out of those 5 friends do not want kids, this is a true stat.
All right, let's settle down just a little bit here. How did we go from having 4 kids in the 1960s? Now families can barely handle 1 child. A recent Newsweek article reviewed that financial stress is the #1 factor why families aren't having kids. We believe that this is why our population will cease to exist in 2054. But is there more?
So most of us are very aware of the housing crisis. Before it was that classic saying, buy a house, start a family. Now today it's more like, hopefully you get a good rental so that you can start a family. If you haven't actually watched our Millennials Aren't Okay video, you should check that out as well. We know that there's so we're the generation of career driven and we want to get those experiences. We want to build our Instagram portfolios and get those passport stamps. but instead of doing like the mortgage and the kids, the classic thing that you did back in the day. If you're enjoying this video, we would really love it if you gave us a thumbs up. We've been trying to smash some records and you guys have been great helping us out. Our first video had 3 likes on it. Then we moved up to 26 and now our last video got 28 likes. Thank you guys so much. Let's break that record again with this video. Carry on. So with all of these factors that come into play, if you are lucky enough to find an actual partner, like thankfully we were, how does it actually feel when you do have kids in society? Because we've experienced a lot of interesting things. So maybe let's go over a few of those.
Sure. You want me to go first?
Sure.
We were recently in a really popular touristy place here in Canada. And we went to this candy shop. And, our oldest daughter really wanted to go because it's a candy shop. Why would any kids want to go there? And so, we walked in and I feel like there's an immediate presence of like, it's like, here comes the kids again.
Yeah, you immediately get that feeling.
Yeah.
When you look at them and they look at you and then look at your kids and they just like, and you're like,
And kids do what kids do, right? They run around, they're loud, they're touching everything and they're picking at this and that. And I did my best to kind of control them a little bit, but I just felt that like a lot of store owners, and if you're a store owner, man, like
listen up.
When a family walks in with kids, babysit the kids for like 15-20 minutes, however long it takes, 10 minutes, interact with them, have stuff around to entertain them. Like when we walked into that candy store, they just stared at us the whole time we were there. And like, we didn't even have enough time to shop, to look at things. It was basically, let's just pick a few things and get out.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable, very awkward in there.
Seriously.
And you just immediately felt judged.
Leave us a comment below of why you think people aren't having kids these days. Yeah, and she was like an older person, and her daughter worked there. So she also came in. Now there's 2 people staring at us. And it's just like, and I feel like that's a lot of our experiences with shopping. As we walk in with the family and people are just like,
yeah,
what is this? Why would you bring these things in here?
Into
and it's
my
just like,
store.
bruh, you're a candy shop.
Yeah.
Like you deal with kids all day. So yeah, for your store owners over there, like just, like help out. You know what I mean? Be a good business owner. Like
that doesn't exist anymore in my mind.
Yeah.
It's very hard to come by businesses that actually care about their businesses.
Yeah.
But I'll give another example. We went into a local store here and it's a baby store. It's a baby store. So I bring my 2 kids in there. Immediately, it's just like, you're already feeling like, okay, I feel awkward because my kids are, they want to play with the toys that are on the table that you have displayed for them to play with. Of course, my kids start pushing the chairs around the store. So yes, there was that. But one of our kids ended up grabbing a stuffy and she likes to put them on her face. And so she put it on her face. And literally the store owner says to me, oh, yeah, can you refrain your kids from putting things in their mouths because now I have to mark that down 30%. And I was like, wow.
Wow, thanks.
Here's all the other stuff that I'm buying from you. And you're immediately making me feel like a horrible parent because my child likes to cuddle stuffies, God forbid.
Yeah.
And like, you're already judging me saying like, oh, thanks a lot. Now I have to mark this down. I'm like, it wasn't even in her mouth, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, you have stuffies everywhere. Like, you expect a child not to pick one up?
You want the child to pick things out because like, oh, they like that. That's when you start selling, store owners. You sell things.
Yeah.
You don't make your customers feel bad.
Yeah.
If some kids pick up toys, that's when you're like, oh, they really like that toy. Here's another one. You sell.
Yeah. And they definitely did not make me feel very welcome. I mean, I was in the store for a decent amount of time and probably my kids were getting bored. Again, I shouldn't have to justify my own actions. It's the fact that like, you are a baby store and my kids, I don't even feel like they're welcome in here. And that's so bizarre to me. If we had a different store that sold baby stuff in our town, like I would never go back to this place, but because it's the only one. Anyways, so that made me feel like a horror. I remember coming home and I was like, I don't know how to feel about this, but I really feel judged. And I feel like my kids are horrible kids when they're not. They're kids.
Yeah.
So that's another example.
Right.
However, we do know a store that has done that for us.
Oh my gosh.
They literally took our kids around. They interacted with them. They were so great. And we spent like $500 in that store.
Seriously, we were planning to spend maybe $100.
maybe 200 max,
Maybe 200
considering
max.
it's like a local thing and
Yeah.
more expensive. But
the fact that they let us shop and they made us felt like home, they just looked after us. We were like, nah, screw it. Let's expand our budget by 2-3 times, 5 times.
and put the cherry on top, she literally helped us with our bags, walked to our car, and helped us put stuff in our car because we had so many items.
And that's how it's done.
That is how it's done. So we love this store, and yeah, great experience. However, that is one in a few.
One in a few. That's the thing. Like, guys, come on. Like, parents have money. Parents are looking to buy things. Like, you know how to deal with a parent custom. Like, really know how to deal with us.
Yeah, and if you don't have money, I mean, we're millennials. We'd like to use our
We have credit cards. Credit cards have like $20,000 of limit on it.
Yeah. So anyways, we just feel so judged every time we go somewhere.
Seriously,
It's horrible.
it's horrible.
Like
Yeah.
our kids are not welcome. And like what a horrible feeling to have when society should be built around kids. Like I
Seriously.
remember back in the day, it's like kids are the future. And now it's like, ugh, what is your kid doing in my store?
Yeah, so he's gonna touch everything, that. So back to the city that we had visited, or town, or whatever you want to call it. We parked kind of somewhere in downtown, just to like stretch and go walk around, this and that. And you were breastfeeding our newest. And so I just like, okay, let's take the kids, let's go walk around. And then all of a sudden,
Find a park
nearby. And then so this local came by, asked her, like, where's the nearest park? And she said, oh, it's just down the block this way. You take a right and it should be right there. So we walked down the block, 2 blocks, 2.5 blocks. And I stopped and I looked back and I was like, I see something over there. And she told me that it's right next to Pergola. So I'm sorry, I see Pergola way down. It's like 10 blocks down. And I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm not going to the park now because if I make it there, they play and I make it back, you're going to be done breastfeeding and it's just going to take way too long. But again, another example, even cities are not kid friendly. I feel like if you want families to come visit your city, you should have parks of some sort nearby. Parks should be almost everywhere. You know what I mean?
And I've heard stories actually about Europe. Apparently Europe is very kid friendly where they have like parks on every block basically. Like a parent could come, have coffee and watch their kid playing at the park across the street when they're in a cafe. Like, where is that here? We have none of that stuff. Our parks are in dingy, sketchy areas of cities. And it's like, I don't want to bring my kids there. We have our downtown where they're like, let's throw a park in there where all of the drug addicts are. And like, yeah, sure, I'm going to bring my kid there. Not like, yeah.
Seriously. Oh, and yeah, most coffee shops, blah, 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 are near busy streets. So...
yeah, can't bring my kid there to let
get
them
there.
hang out. Yeah.
Nope. And most coffee shops don't have any kid entertainment of any sort.
Yeah.
Again, it's wild, man. Parents have some money and we want to get out to places. But if you guys are not making us feel welcome of any sort, we're not going to go anywhere.
Seriously. Yeah.
Like parents are so underserved in this community.
Yeah, seriously. And like when you go to like a Walmart or a Costco or something, where's like they have customer with child, they have like 4 spots, 2 on each side.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. That's all there is.
Even their carts have changed.
The carts have changed too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to go from 2 cart seats
to
to 1.
But then again, if people are having 1.26 hits per family, then why have 2, right?
Yeah, seriously. Oh man, it's just brutal.
Yeah, it's wild.
And we've also noticed like dogs get treated better than kids. You've noticed, right? Like,
of course.
Man.
How many times do we get stopped so that people pet a dog?
Yeah. And it's hilarious because you can either tell if they're a dog person or they're a kid person because you're walking with both and people will stop and be like, oh my gosh, your dog is so adorable.
Yeah.
They don't mention anything about your kids. Or there's the other where it's like, oh my gosh, your kids are so cute. But it's like, what are the other? It's never both. I have never experienced a double situation. One or the other. And that's bizarre to me. We see people with strollers for their dogs.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How many grandmas have we seen that is strolling their dogs around versus their grandkids?
Yeah, I know. You got really mad about that. I'm like, okay, let's take it easy because maybe they just don't have grandkids. Maybe they live in a different area. Like, let's give them a benefit of the doubt. But why the frick are you pushing your dog around in a stroller?
Yeah.
So if you have a dog and you have a stroller, please tell me the theory behind this. Is it because you have a small dog that doesn't have long legs? Like what is it?
Does the dog have like some sort of physical problem, I'm guessing?
Maybe.
Or like probably.
Anyways,
Yeah.
okay. Either way,
Either way.
it's just so strange that
Society.
Yeah, the society has become this and we just feel so judged everywhere we go with our kids. Take us to a restaurant that's kid friendly. No, we will not, because do you know how judged we feel with our kids? It's insane.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm getting all worked up because of it.
Yeah, for sure.